evening. I want to call this meeting to order. We're running a few minutes late. We were tied up with some other issues. Could I please have Josette Shaughnessy lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the to the flag of the United States of America, to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone to this month's meeting. I want the record to show that all board members are present. Is there anyone that has anything to say or would like to say to the Board of Trustees?
There was not a form submitted.
No form?
No, sir.
Okay. So moving right along.
Do
Okay.
you want me to start with 1.4?
Yes, please.
Item 1.4, approval of minutes, there are none. Item 1.5, welcome to guests and staff members. The judge is already welcomed. Item 1.6, open forum, there's none. Item 1.7, presentations by individuals, groups, and organizations. Item 1.7.1, Mr. Lee Vasquez, Coordinator, Diversity and Inclusion Programs, and Ms. Arlene Alarcon, Co-Chair, Hispanic Heritage Committee, will present the highlights of the 2019 Hispanic Heritage events.
All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Serrata, and guests. My name is Lee Vasquez, and I'm the coordinator for the diversity program. This is Arlene Alarcon, and she's the co-chair for the Hispanic Heritage Committee. We're here to tell you a little bit about like our events for Hispanic Heritage. One of the first ones, pretty much we went is to the county courthouse for the county resolution on September 9th, and then September 17th for the city proclamation. So we went and our group presented there, and we got those for the college and for the Hispanic Heritage. The kickoff was on September 16th, and on that one, it was at Valle Verde. We had several things going on for the kickoff. We had presenters as far as like singing talent, which comprised from students and faculty and staff that came and showed us their talents. We also had the veterans, Vienna Veterans of America troupe to do the color guard. So we had those events on there. Also, while we were doing that during in the annex, we had a mini club and organizations fair. And with that, we didn't want just for the students to go around and just stamping, that they went to each table. We wanted to encourage a little bit of learning also. So one way that we kind of decided to do that was we had like a little test your knowledge kind of little quiz. So they had to go to each table to kind of find out the answer. So on each it had like a little question about Latino or Hispanic heritage, pretty much like questions, and then they would have to go to the table and then ask, pretty much. And that was a good way to get kind of like the participants also talking to each other and getting them a little bit more motivated to kind of know the history of Hispanic heritage. So there are some pictures on there of people visiting the tables.
Are you going to give us the answers?
Excuse me?
Are you going to give us the answers?
Yeah, I could forward you the answers later. And then the outside, we also had some courtyard games. I wanted to say thank you to the intramural sports because they lent us some of the games out there. So we had like the Connect Four, we had Loteria, a table over Loteria. So students can also participate. The big thing about like the organization club fair and then the games outside is to get students a little bit motivated and know what EPCC offers for them, because we want to retain those students, so we want to kind of feel part of something, so they kind of get to know, okay, what does EPCC offer for me? How can I get involved? So that was our big purpose for the whole kickoff, pretty much. Those are other pictures also, for the kickoff. Participation, we had 300 plus kind of like students coming in and staff. So we had a good turnout. Now, after that, we had the read-ins. One thing for the read-ins is we wanted to encourage students or anybody in the community or staff to kind of read a little bit like poetry or stories on, their heritage. One committee member had proposed the Poet X book, so that was given as a prize to one of the students throughout the session. So I have some pictures here on like the different pretty much campuses, because it was held at all campuses. Some of the participants on there. Mission del Paso held it outside, so that was kind of good. Trans Mountain, between the library and the little courtyard and little area. The thing about this one, I wanted to bring your attention, we were also part of the Tejano Passport, so we wanted to encourage students to get those points. So we were showing them how to do that, and then people were participating and telling their stories. Rio Grande, they did their event was really excellent also. The person there even donated 2 extra books, so we didn't only give 1 book, we gave 3 books at that campus of the Poet X. And the Valle Verde, this one was kind of unique also because we actually had a student participate, and in between like the readings, he would play music to kind of go in between. So it's kind of a little bit of everything. We encourage all our students and faculty and staff to participate in these events every year. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. As Lee said, we represent the Hispanic Heritage Committee, and Lee covered the month-long activities conducted during Hispanic Month. I will cover what is yet to come and encourage everyone to join us at the scheduled events. This is our 18th year celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. The celebration will end with a mentors dinner on October the 3rd at the ASC Auditorium. 2 mentors who have made an impact on the community will be recognized. They are Wiza Davis, attorney and counselor at law, Ruben Garcia, director and founder of the Annunciation Home or House. In addition, our keynote speaker is Dr. Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic woman ever to go to space and the only second female director of NASA's Johnson Space Center. As an in-demand speaker, she touches on meaningful issues that have defined her historic career. What we can learn about change, innovation, the culture of teams, and what we can do to ensure that more minorities find a place with STEM fields. Prior to the dinner, Dr. Ochoa will speak to our EPC students at 2:30 at the Valle Verde campus. As customary, student scholarships will be awarded. This year, to celebrate our 50th anniversary, 5 EPC students will receive a $1,000 scholarship. These activities could not be accomplished without the help of our 27 Hispanic committee members. A special thanks to the committee for the continued support year after year. On behalf of the Hispanic Heritage Committee, we would like to invite you to join us at the campus student engagement and/or mentors dinner under this year's theme, Hispanic American History of Serving Our Nation. Thank you and good evening.
Item 1.7.2, Dr. Carmen Aguilera Gorner, Director of Workforce Strategic Initiatives, will provide a presentation on apprenticeships and internships at El Paso Community College.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board. I'm Dr. Carmen Aguilera Gerner, Director of the Workforce Strategic Initiatives here at EPCC. The title of my presentation is Apprenticeships and Internships at El Paso Community College. A little bit of background. For 23 years, EPCC has been the local education agency and administrator of the Texas Workforce Apprenticeship Training Program grant, which provides training primarily in construction trades and related trades. This last year, 18-19, we had 9 apprenticeship partners with 278 apprentices, and we conducted over 55,000 contact hours of instruction, and we had an award for $221,296. This year, we have 14 apprenticeship partners with 407 apprentices, and we expect to conduct over 74,000, almost 75,000 contact hours of instruction, and our award is for $258,041. Our partners are reimbursed based on the contact hours to help offset the cost of the training, the consumables, the materials, and the instruction sometimes. I thought I would first start off with some definitions taken from the TWC GIPWIC. Apprenticeships, a training program that provides on-the-job training with preparatory instruction, supplementary or related instruction in a trade that has been certified as an apprentice occupation by the U.S. Department of Labor. Currently, there are 1,200 apprenticeable occupations. We also have other external learning experiences such as co-ops, clinicals and practicums, internships which may or may not be paid, externships which are more competency-based learning experiences which may or may not be paid also. Apprenticeships are paid experiences. So how do apprenticeships work at EPCC? Well, first of all, we have business partners that apply and register with the Department of Labor to recruit and employ apprentices at the prevailing wage. The business partners provide on-the-job training, assign a supervisor on a one-to-one ratio, and hire subject matter experts to provide classroom instruction. The apprentices work all day and attend classroom instruction in the evening. EPCC, the LEA, and the fiscal agent applies for a TWC grant to help supplement the business partners for books, materials, consumables, and sometimes they pay the instructor also. The classroom instruction may or may not be held at EPCC facilities. Currently, we have about 5 classes that are being held here at EPCC. Here you'll see a table of our continuing partners, and I know this is hard to see, but I hope you will take a closer look at this. It lists our partners and the occupations they are apprenticing in. One of our biggest partners is the Independent Electrical Contractors of El Paso, the IEC, and we have about 190 apprentices from that business partner. We also have the plumbers, the local plumbers and pipe fitters, as well as other partners. So I hope you have a chance to really take a look at the partners in our occupations. We have the electricians, the welders, we have plumbers and pipe fitters and masons. So you can see all the different types of occupations. And we have a total of about 328 apprentices with 62,000 contact hours. We also have new partners this year, and again, we have electricians 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have an elevator mechanic apprentice, you can see, and we have a total of 79 new apprentices for a total of 11,000 contact hours, almost 12,000 contact hours. We are very fortunate to be working with these business partners. Some have been around with us for about 23 years, and we are very lucky to be giving our students the opportunity for this apprenticeship program. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about a new initiative that we recently were awarded with from the American Association of Community Colleges. And in July of this year, we were awarded a grant for over $140,000 over 3 years. This is a 3-prong approach where EPCC will address industry skill gaps, provide trainees with technical training. Hopefully, we can get more into the college credit and career advancement. And the grant will cover EPCC tuition for 3 groups. The first prong of this grant is to bring existing registered apprenticeship programs to EPCC and provide more of the classroom training instruction here and be able to offer some of the courses that are in our other programs. Our specific populations are apprentices from registered programs and employers that are not currently enrolled in EPCC. The specific industry sector will be renewable energy program and the programmable logic controls. We are working with Dr. Valerio and the ATC to help us with these apprenticeship programs. The second prong will be to evaluate the college courses. We're going to take a look at the students' coursework, their skills, their on-the-job training if they've had them, and bring them into an official partnership or an official registered apprenticeship program. And hopefully we'll get current students that are not part of an apprenticeship program and bring them into EPCC. We will be collaborating with local industry to establish a local pipeline. And the industry sector targeted will be advanced technologies, manufacturing, and electrician. Currently, there are no apprenticeship links for the region's manufacturing sector. The third prong will be to partner with our ISDs. In particular, we have Socorro ISD to create a pre-apprenticeship program and link the students to the college and the employers. We will be adopting a high school to apprenticeship model, and the specific population will be high school students in pre-engineering or STEM. And then the specific sector targeted will be the advanced technology, manufacturing, and electrician also. Apprenticeship programs give us an opportunity to expand this model to other disciplines. It's an opportunity to also convert existing internships or co-ops or practicums and bring them into full-fledged apprenticeship programs. We have also talked about SDF grants. SDF grants provide skills training to local businesses and industry employees, primarily customized CE courses that result in CEUs. And most of these courses are done at the site of the companies that we work with. We go out and recruit with our local partner, in partnership with our local agencies like the Workforce Solutions Board and the city's Economic Development Agency. We hope to recruit SDF partners as internship sites or co-op sites so that, and I'm hoping that we can include them in the language with the MOU so that they can really, so we can really have teeth to sink into. Other TWC grants, and this was a question before that whether SDF grants provide training or not, and there are other grants that can provide training. SDF grants may provide equipment, but there are other grants through the Texas Workforce Commission that do provide equipment, such as the JET. We also have the Skills for Small Business, the Soldiers Transitioning Program that can provide equipment through industry partnerships. So, in conclusion, EPCC has an expanding apprenticeship program by increasing the number of partners and apprentices yearly. We will have a pre-apprenticeship program with local ISDs utilizing the three-prong approach through our AACC grant. EPCC will reach out to SDF partners for apprenticeship, externships, and internship sites. And EPCC gives our students an opportunity to enter an apprenticeship program and get paid while they work. It's now, the latest slogan is earn while you learn. And you know, with all this hoopla about student debt, these apprenticeships are a great way to learn a job skill, get paid while learning, and come out with no student debt. Oops, there. Any questions?
I just
Yes?
have a couple of comments. Thank you so much, Dr. Aguilera Gardner,
Thank
for
you.
your presentation. Very helpful. I can tell you that while I'm out there in the community, I have had individuals approach me and asked about the apprenticeship program, about the internship program, how we can strengthen that with our local electricians, organizations, and such. And so I definitely thank you for at least educating me on this process. And of course, I'll be reaching out to those individuals as well to let them know that EPCC practices what it preaches. Our programs are strong and our programs are moving forward. The only question I do have, and I don't know if this would be directed to you or if maybe we can revisit this as another day, is whether or not we do include that apprenticeship language, make that a requirement in our construction contracts. I'm not sure if we do that or if we can do that, but maybe something that we can explore and look at. That's one aspect, and we can revisit that at a later date. And then maybe the board coming back at some point, maybe in the future, kind of taking on a really, either via a resolution to really make that commitment on how we are going to invest and really promote and push these apprenticeships. We know that our technical programs are going up, our enrollments are going up in that aspect. So definitely something that we could move forward to. And later on in the agenda, we have the PTech program out at, so that all ties in here. And so definitely exciting and definitely something that we should embrace and move forward with. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Thank
And
you.
we're always looking for business partners out in the
Awesome.
community. So if you know of anybody that would like to take on apprentices, we're more than happy to talk to them.
Thank you.
So I do have some questions. On the people that you have participating in the internships, are these people that are working for a company and the company requested the internship?
For the apprentices, you
Or
mean?
were these people that were unemployed and we brought them on to an apprenticeship program to help them with employability?
I think it's both ways. We work with the business partners to recruit. But they are the ones that apply through the DOL, and we help them increase their apprentices every year. We go out and visit and make sure that we give them promotional materials and help them out to bring in more apprentices. And then every year we go out and talk to new businesses to bring them in as new partners.
So of the 328 apprentices that we have, which ones are targeting the unemployed, that we're just bringing them on board to learn a skill and connecting them to the apprenticeship programs?
We work closely with the Workforce Solutions Board, and we get referrals from them. Those apprentices or those people that are unemployed, we get referrals from them, and they refer them into our apprenticeship programs or any of our other programs, such as the STP.
But that didn't answer my question. Out
Okay.
of the ones that we have, like approximately what percentage or how many are from the workforce that were not employed in a company? Because I know the companies are, approaching the college to hopefully get internships going through the college. But I'm concerned about the ones that are not working and that we could pull them in to a program.
I'm not sure what the percentage is on that right now, as far as the 300. I'm not sure what percentage from those apprentices came in from unemployed source.
Well, we can get that
But we
information
can
for
certainly
you,
find
Dr.
that out.
And do we have some new grants that we've accessed for apprenticeships, or are these the companies that were long-standing here in?
We have the new partners that came in this year.
But new grants? Because
We have a new
funds
grant.
are out there for that.
Right. We have a new grant that just came in. That was the one for $258,000. We just, in fact, got in through the Workforce Commission, get 70% of the grant. So I think right now we have just received the documents to bring in the 70% of that grant.
Because, when you talk about, and your presentation's good, good information, but
Thank you.
that we're gonna reach out to. I'm telling you, because I've seen it. Everybody else is reaching out to the ISDs. They're already establishing the
Right.
apprenticeship programs and pulling in the kids. So what I'd like to see, Dr. Serrata, is a strategic plan of when these things are gonna happen. We can't just say we're gonna do it. I wanna know when.
I think
it's
this,
gonna get
this
done.
AACC grant primarily addresses that. Where we are working, we have already brought Socorro ISD on board as part of the pre-apprenticeship. So they're really looking, we have other references and other letters that we're working with ISDs on that one too.
Well,
So
I can
this
tell
is
you
a good
that the
kickoff.
competition's out there very
Yeah.
aggressively. I know which programs they're bringing in.
This
But
will be a great
strategic
kickoff.
plan that we can see as a board, we can see when this is gonna happen, January or when and how many, so that we can see that there's an aggressive recruitment going on.
And I think we could tie that in, for example, I think the way I see it is definitely there is that trend out there. I do think that there's that need that exists regardless on
Right.
how we go there, how we can strategically apply that, and perhaps tying that into, resolution is just a resolution, but at least it could be that starting point of what that plan will look like, how we're gonna target it throughout the county, because I can tell you that there's definitely a desire to do this and an
Right.
investment to do this, and so it's just a matter of how we roll that out, and so definitely just the first step on that process for sure, but thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 1.7.3, optional presentations will be made by the presidents of the Classified Staff Association, the Professional Staff Association, the Faculty Association, and the Student Government Association.
Right, hopefully there we go. Right, hello everyone. Dr. Serrata, Chair Haggerty, Board of Trustees, and everyone in attendance. I'm Alex Rodriguez, President of the Student Government Association here at the college. I'm here with my monthly board report and a little bit of an updates that we've been up to here at the college. So today I'm just gonna keep it super short and simple, try to not take away too much time, so we're gonna go ahead and start up. One of our goals that we've been working on is to register at least 1,000 students to vote. I would like to just give you guys a little friendly update of what our total tally and what we've been up to. And as of today, I'd like to announce that we have registered 401 people to vote. I would like to give, thank you. I'd like to give everyone, faculty and staff, everyone that helped us out when it comes to achieving our current amount and count right now, such as Mr. Vasquez for giving us a table at the Hispanic Heritage event. We actually educated quite a few students involving our turnout, involving here in El Paso, as well as the Texas level and even the nationwide level. And we actually registered quite a few students at that event as well, so thank you very much. And as well as faculty members for giving us a couple of minutes of their time on their lectures, giving them a quick little lecture about the importance of registering students to vote, and also as well as registering students to vote as well. Speaking about students, Student Government Association has been hosting every campus a meet and greet called Teal Grill and Chill, where we meet with students and we get to find out any suggestions, concerns, anything, and any improvements that we might be able to do here on the campus. Today was our last monthly stop, which was at the Trans Mountain campus, but we did Rio Grande last week, and as well as Northwest, and the week prior we had Mission Del Paso and Valle Verde. So pretty much we've gotten quite a few feedback and suggestions. We actually have quite a few suggestions pamphlets that the students wrote and actually let us know of what they want changed. So I'm actually gonna bring some next month to show you guys like a little consensus of what's been happening. So and also as well, and if you see me in the future meetings, you'll see a lot of suggestions coming from my end, so keep that in mind. I'd like to thank everyone also involved in the policy 4.10.07.10 in regards to student travel. We had our monthly meeting of the Student Organizational Council, or SOC for short, where club representatives of our roughly 50 clubs and organizations meet, and they're actually ecstatic about the news that we allowed the increase of range of the mileage allowed. Not only does this provide us, the students, with new experiences, but also skills that will further develop their respective career skill set once they graduate from college. In regards to the smoking policy 2.10.12.10, we're going to deep dive and get to work as every previous SGA has been doing. I'd like to give, lastly, I'd like to give a special thanks to everyone, faculty and staff that's welcomed us and spoken to us and giving their time to speak with us. The progress done has been awesome so far, and we're looking forward to working and getting things done for the next month and the next month and next semester. Thank you.
Teal Grill and Chill. Love it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tonight, the Faculty Association is truly giving a report, but before we get to it, I wanted to go ahead and extend my thanks on behalf of the Faculty Association for the pay enhancement. We understand that in an institution with limited resources, an enhancement of this nature means that there was sacrifices somewhere else, and when those decisions were being made and at that moment, we became a priority. And we really, truly appreciate that. And so on behalf of my association, thank you very, very much.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Tonight, I wanted to speak about an election item that emerged in our association. Mr. Robert Moreno was introduced to you earlier this year as the Vice President of Adjuncts, and I am delighted to say that he has taken full-time employment with the college. Unfortunately, that means that he is no longer eligible to serve, and so we had to do a deep dive into our bylaws to figure out how that replacement process worked, and we had to hold a special election. So to update you and fill you in on how that happened, I have invited a member of our elections committee to talk to you about that process.
Hi. Oh, oops, sorry. Hi, Albert Burnham, Elections Committee, Faculty Senate, District Chair for History. The election results are there are 3 candidates. The winner is Patricia Barrientos with 53 votes. Coming in second, Jim Finquist with 11. And third, Imelda Polo with 3. So Patricia received 79.1% of the vote. So she wins. We have a new adjunct VP. Yay!
On that note, the Elections Committee also brought to my attention that our bylaws are not set up to easily replace vacancies. And so one thing that they will be doing now is converting to a bylaws committee to be able to update our bylaws, and when their work is complete, we'll be happy to send you the results. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Item 1.8, communications, none. Item 1.9, Board of Trustees business. Item 1.9.1, discussion and action to authorize the president to sign a professional service agreement on behalf of the college with Bickerstaff Heath Delgado Acosta LLP for legal services.
I make a motion that we approve.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I have some discussion, Judge, please.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Just for some explanation, and I'm happy to go ahead and explain why we have this item here, and then Dr. Serrata, feel free to jump in. The college has contracted with Scott Hulse to provide our main legal services. However, there's been instances, and this is more for the benefit of the public, there's been instances where there have been a conflict of interest. And so in those situations, what the board's direction or decision was to go ahead and engage another firm, and that would be the Bickerstaff firm to provide those legal services. And so we're actually very, very lucky that we have 2 very good firms that are going to be guiding and assisting not only the board but also the college and all on those legal services. The only aspect that I wanted just to make sure from the board, at least from my standpoint, this is only my opinion, and of course feel free to jump in on that, is that I just want to make sure that, you know, we have 2 firms being mindful in terms of the cost, the hourly rates that are associated with hiring great counsel on both ends. And so we recognize, at least I recognize, that Scott Hulse is our main attorney on those issues. I want to respect that decision that the board had made prior to my getting on the board, how that process was vetted and went through, and that truly the assistance and the services are because there has been a conflict. So in other words, Just, being an attorney myself, I know how this goes, not attorney shopping because we being the board or not necessarily staff and administration like a particular decision that's come up. Of course, there might be some instances that we'll need to think it through, but it should not be used in instances that we are, again, attorney shopping because we don't necessarily like an answer. It might be the same answer that we come up with, but we have to be mindful of those costs that are associated with that. And then the only other issue that I would just ask is that for the bigger projects such as, and we're not there, but if it comes down the road that we would get there in terms of any bond work or any of the redistricting work, my personal preference on that is that it would go up to an RFP, and that there be another formal process to make that decision of whoever can apply. It'd be open, whether that be Scott Hulse, whether that be another firm or any other firm. But because those are such big projects that require, I think, very specialized expertise, that be taken into consideration as a separate item. And so those are just the only things that I just wanted to make public, but fully support that decision. So if anybody else had anything else to add?
Ms. Sanchez, I will just respond that the staff and I will ensure that only when Scott Hulse indicates that there's a conflict, that we then turn to the secondary firm. If there is no conflict, then whatever guidance we receive from Scott Hulse will be the guidance that we utilize, legal guidance that we utilize as we make our decisions. So I will take that responsibility with the staff. With regards to the board, that you all will make that decision,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure, and you all will stick to that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Call-
Dr. Serrata, just a point of clarification, if I may.
Yes.
With regard to the motion that's about to be made, there isn't an agreed-upon service agreement yet, and so the motion really should be to negotiate
Okay.
and toward the signing of an agreement if one can be reached,
Okay. Okay.
because the terms of that service agreement have not been determined.
So the motion would be move to authorize the president or his designees and staff to negotiate a professional services agreement with Bickerstaff Keith Delgado Acosta for legal services
Yes, ma'am.
in the event of conflict
Yes,
of
ma'am.
interest with Scott Hulse.
Yes.
Second that motion.
Call the question?
Mr. Acosta, did you have anything to add? Yes, I did. Sir.
I wanted to introduce myself, Alejandro Acosta, of the Bickerstaff firm. One of my law partners who's board certified in real estate, Denise Cheney, has flown in from Austin to be with you today. We appreciate the opportunity. We respect and understand your relationship with Scott Hulse. We know that conflicts arise in the normal course of things, and we're obviously ready to do anything you need us to do in any area. Two of you, I don't think were here. Ms. Sanchez and I believe Ms. Pena were not here for the RFP presentation where we did about an hour's worth of talking about ourselves, which is very hard for me to do. But we appreciate that opportunity. You have a fine law firm that represents you. We have a statewide practice that has a representation of more government entities than anybody else in the state, including about every community college in the state except for El Paso Community College. So we appreciate that very much. With regard to Ms. Sanchez's very insightful comments, I do want to make you understand something. As a statewide public entity firm, we have specialty lawyers that do redistricting. We have specialty lawyers that do elections. We have specialty lawyers that do public finance work, bond work. So I just wanted to add that to you, and thank you very much for the consideration. As some of you know, some of you I've known my whole life, this is a very, very significant thing for me and my family. My mother was one of the trustees, the first Hispanic trustee in this college years ago. My dad left the El Paso Natural Gas Company, retired, came to school at El Paso Community College and graduated #1 and was president of Phi Theta Kappa. And my mother gave my father his diploma. So that tells you how much it means to all of us. So thank you very much for the opportunity. We appreciate it.
And just for the record, I do want to mention that, yes, the board members that were on the committee selecting the legal representatives, we did hear your presentation. It was very impressive.
Thank you very much.
So we didn't just pick you out from, the website. We
No,
actually.
I understand this
heard
board does
about it.
everything with deliberate speed.
Thank
And very well. Thank you.
Dr. Graham, you had a motion and a
Yes, I
second.
need
Can
to
we withdraw?
withdraw.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So that
withdraw
was
my
withdrawn.
motion, yes.
Ms. Nahara needs to withdraw her second.
Okay.
Ms. Nara, you have,
I withdraw my second.
you need to call a question?
Okay, well,
And you have the motion, right?
Did you go ahead and
That
make
was
the
the
new
ri- so the-
motion?
my motion was going to be to move-
Authorize the president to negotiate?
That is correct.
So that's, okay, is there a second on that?
yes.
I did second
Okay. Mr. Uxer? Aye. Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye,
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Item 1.9.2, discussion and action to authorize the president to execute license application or agreement pertaining to real property located in Fort Bliss.
No action on this item?
Okay.
Item 1.9.3, discussion and action to authorize the president to execute agreements with the Texas Association of School Boards, TASB, regarding college policies and procedures.
Move to approve?
second,
Can we, before we do that, I think for this one as well, there were some issues that we had discussed earlier during the presentation with regards to the costs. The backup that we had received did not include that. I'd like to tighten that language up, so if the motion could be, this is from my perspective, again, for legal counsel to negotiate an agreement with TASB and to bring back a final.
For point of clarification, it would be the administration through legal counsel, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll withdraw my motion, and if you want to change the language on that.
Who seconded it?
Dr.
I did.
Graham.
Wow, withdraw your second.
yes.
Okay, you want to make your motion? Ms. Sanchez?
Oh, sure. My motion is going to be to, it's to move to authorize legal counsel to work through Dr. Sarata, the president, as well as administration in negotiating the agreements as, I want to recite them, though, to put them on the record. I don't have them in front of me. Ms. Marin,
Yes, I have them. Give me a second.
the exact agreements that we're looking at so that they're reflected in the record.
Yes. The Community College Policy Reference Manual Subscription Agreement.
Second?
Wait, there's four
There's
of
more.
them.
Oh,
The Community College Localization Agreement, Community College District Policy Updating Services Agreement, Community College Policy Online User Agreement.
And then the last one, I think, was the community college localization. Did you say that? I
She
said,
said
okay,
that one.
thank you.
second?
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the question?
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye,
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Item 1.9.4, discussion and action on the designation of 2 members of the Board of Trustees to serve as voting delegates during the Association of Community College Trustees Annual Congress, October 16th through 19th, 2019, in San Francisco, California.
You go. I make a motion that the 2 voting members be myself and Dr. Graham.
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question?
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
aye,
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Item 1.9.5, discussion and action to authorize the president to execute amendment to agreements on behalf of the college with Texas Tech University regarding KCOS operations.
move to approve?
Second?
Yeah.
Clarification. Again, it should be negotiate and execute. I think there are still a couple of things that are pending. for clarification, as long as we have that language, that'll give Dr. Serrata the freedom to tweak those issues.
And just really quickly, Dr. Strata, can you just briefly to the public what this is?
Sure. So KCOS, public television station in El Paso, has been affiliated with the college for a number of years. And we all know that funding for public television continues to be cut, unfortunately, in an effort to establish sustainability for KCOS. They have partnered or would wish to partner and are moving forward with a partnership with Texas Tech University, which allows them to become employees of Texas Tech University system out of Lubbock. All the local programming will still be directed here. We negotiated in good faith with KCOS. Obviously, our responsibility is to the taxpayers, the utilization of the footprint that they have in this, the square footage that they have in this building. We worked with our legal counsel as well as representatives from Texas Tech and KCOS and our team as well, to where we've come up with an agreement that is fair to the college and allows them to not only be partners with the college, but to be to go into partnership with Texas Tech University. Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need to withdraw the motion so that we can redo it?
No, it's fine, you're fine.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, I think the motion did not have negotiate in it, you're right.
Well, because
So
it
she can
wasn't
amend
on.
your motion?
You could just amend it, Dr. Graham.
Amended to include the word negotiate.
Yes.
Yes.
And you
I
second?
second.
Okay, any more discussion? Call the question?
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Nájera?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Item 1.10, Board Reports. Item 1.10.1, Treasurer's Report, none. Item 1.10.2, President's Report. Item 1.10.2.1, Dr. Serrata will update the Board of Trustees and audience on recent events that have transpired at the college.
Chair Haggerty, members of the board, it's always my honor and privilege to update you on a limited number of items that have occurred at the college since our last board meeting. The McLennan Community College Hispanic Student Association sent its support to El Paso Community College earlier this month after the tragic events that took place on the 3rd of August in our community. They submitted a signed banner to share with student government of well wishes. Really touching item that they went ahead and moved forward with that we wanted to make sure that we shared. On behalf of the McLennan Community College Hispanic Student Association in Waco, Texas, we send our thoughts, prayers, and commitment to advocacy and support of El Paso Community College and the entire El Paso and binational communities. Signed by all of their members, we will ask Ms. Jones and student government. We will provide this to them. We thought it was very nice, and we certainly appreciated their support during these tragic events. We'd like to thank everyone for attending the State of the College presentation on September 5th. I personally would like to thank Ms. Sanchez and Mrs. Robles for making time out of their busy schedules to attend. We had a great attendance not only at the ASC, but we streamed it to each of the 5 campuses. El Paso Community College has received the 2019 Higher Education Excellence in Diversity, known as the HEED Award from Insight into Diversity magazine. This is the 7th year in a row that the college has received the award. Kudos to Mrs. Chavez and her team, the entire committee who worked on it. Dr. Maria Alvarez, one of our biology professors, was honored during the 2019 McDonald's Hispano Triunfadores Award ceremony last week. Dr. Alvarez was recognized as the STEM honoree for her impact on higher education and science. Thank you, Mrs. Robles, for encouraging us to nominate Dr. Alvarez. The El Paso Community College men's and women's cross-country teams won at Saints Collegiate Cross Country Invitational hosted by Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio, Texas on September 22nd. Currently, the women are ranked 2nd in the nation. I don't know how that's possible if they won. And the men are ranked 4th in the nation. Again, Coach Hinojosa and his team, kudos. Those rankings obviously are incorrect when our teams are winning the meets. The Foundation for El Paso Community College will be hosting the 4th annual Fajitas and Margaritas for scholarships tomorrow, September 26th at the ASC. building auditorium. We look forward to those of you that can join us. Tickets may be purchased at the campus cashiers and will be available to purchase at the door. We certainly understand that there are, and let me let our team know, that the board, some of the board members will be traveling to attend national conferences, but some will be there, and I will be there supporting, as well as many of the staff members will be there. It is a great event, and kudos to Dr. Gross and the entire team that puts on, and Culinary Arts that does a tremendous job with that. The El Paso Community College Diversity Inclusion Programs Hispanic Heritage Mentors Dinner, you heard earlier, I want to reemphasize, that will be held on Thursday, October the 3rd in the auditorium here at the ASC. The keynote speaker will be Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic female in space. Tickets for the event are available at each of the campus cashiers. I would like to announce that the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board has named a new Commissioner of Higher Ed. The Governor's Office released that. Dr. Harrison Keller will assume the role of Commissioner of Higher Education for the state of Texas on October the 1st. Dr. Keller currently is the Deputy to the President at the University of Texas at Austin. Dr. Keller, now Commissioner Keller, is a good friend to the college, is a good friend to me personally. I've known him for 7+ years. We look forward to working with him and helping him be successful as Commissioner of Higher Education for the state of Texas. And then finally, the Small Business Development Corporation. I will send out these to the board members as I conclude. The EPCC Small Business Development Center invites the Board of Trustees to the Prod Design grand opening. Prod Design is a manufacturing company and one of SBDC's successful clients. Owner Pablo Rodriguez is an El Paso native and very committed to our city. He started Prod Design with his personal savings. 2 years later, his company has grown exponentially, which is why we had to move into a bigger facility. Pablo purchased the lot and built a new state-of-the-art facility. Prod Design was also featured in the SBDC's regional annual report. That will be taking place tomorrow at 2 p.m. If the board is able to attend, our SBDC would be thrilled if you attend. That concludes my report, Chair Haggerty.
Thank you, Dr. Serrata.
Item 1.11, consent docket. This includes item 3.2.
Move to approve?
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Naheda?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Item 2.0, administration, none. Item 3.1, discussion and action to approve full-time staff and faculty recruited in positions funded by the institutional budget.
Move to approve 3.1 and 3.3?
Item 3.3 does not require any action,
Oh,
Dr. Graham.
that's right.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Naheda?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Excuse me. Item 4.0, financial services, none. Item 5.0, physical facilities, none. Item 6.1, discussion and action on the acceptance of a reimbursement grant award from the Texas State Library and Archives Commission in the amount of $531.
Move to approve?
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Naheda?
Aye.
Ms. Pena?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Item 6.2, discussion and action on the approval of the amended and restated Burgess Early College High School interlocal agreement.
Move to approve, and I have a question.
Second?
What's
So on this one, Mr. Smith, it talks about that it has revised it, but I couldn't figure out what the revision was. What is it that we're doing different from the previous one?
So most of the language that has been changed is clarifying in nature.
at the request of either our legal team or the legal team from the ISD. However, there are some new blueprint things that the state requires us to put into the MOUs as we get them revised, and they're on a 3-year cycle, I believe, for revision. So, for example, you'll see that there's a course crosswalk that's included in this MOU. That's a requirement of the blueprint now, and so we will include those in the updated MOUs. We've also added some training for librarians. We had a dual credit site visit by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools a while back, and one area that they said we could strengthen things in is student access to library materials. So we actually have a training component in for librarians in the MOU now.
Is that access to the EPCC library materials?
Yeah, it's really training high school librarians how to help students access our databases, et cetera.
Okay. I noticed also on the advisory committee, that's on page 20, is that really going on, or are we gonna start it, or?
Oh, no, those are ongoing then.
Those are ongoing? Okay. I was actually looking to see if there was any language here as to what happens when the students that are in the early college high school get into discipline issues that we discussed before.
That's a great question.
I haven't
and
forgotten it, okay?
So for the early college high school MOUs and the P-TECH one that is coming up next, you'll see that they reference the dual credit MOU in general. And that's where we spoke to using the language that I described last meeting, where it comes down to whether or not the high school has the qualified instructor or whether there's an online section and it's being taught by one of our credentialed instructors.
Okay, so it's being looked at.
It is, Dr. Graham, and also in item C of it, the code of conduct is spelled out with regards to the ultimate is the district. And so while our code of conduct is applicable, if there's a conflict, the district code of conduct is applicable under TEA code.
It would just be a matter of being able to connect the students to the dual
credentialed
faculty. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Certainly.
That's it.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Call a question?
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Ms. Nahara.
Aye.
Ms. Pina.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 6.3, discussion and action on the approval of the Career Center at Riverside P-TECH interlocal agreement.
Move to approve?
Second?
Any discussion? Call the question?
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Ms. Nahara.
Aye.
Ms. Pina.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Item 7.1, discussion and action on the approval of lease contracts with the Phoenix of El Paso for rental of apartments for the Intercollegiate Athletics Department in an amount not to exceed $70,000.
Move to approve?
Did I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I already know, Dr. Graham.
We're buying another one.
Call the question?
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Ms. Sanchez.
Aye.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Ms. Nahara.
Aye.
Ms. Pina.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Don't sound so excited.
Item 8.0, community services. There are none. Would the board like to go into executive session?
Yes, please.
The Board of Trustees may conduct an executive or closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons: consultation with its attorney to seek or receive legal advice, or consultation regarding pending or contemplated litigation, or for any purpose authorized by law, discussion about the value or transfer of real property, discussion about a prospective gift or donation, consideration of specific personnel matters, discussion about security, personnel or devices, or discussion of certain economic development matters. The board may also announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on this agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session by provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Any vote regarding these items shall be taken in open session. Discussion regarding lawsuit styled Joyce Cordell versus El Paso County Community College District, cause number 2019 DCV 1001 pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Discussion regarding EEOC charge of Daniel Rogelio Vasquez, EEOC charge number 453-2019-00565 pursuant to pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Discuss employment-related compensation issues regarding Gabriel Saucedo pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.071 and 551.074. Discussion regarding potential impending litigation pertaining to the use of the college's trademark pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Discussion regarding the legal rights and obligations arising under a certain memorandum of understanding between the college and the county of El Paso pertaining to the conveyance of approximately 30.12 acres of real estate located near the Mission del Paso campus pursuant to section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code.
Okay, we're back in session. Do you have a motion for?
The time is 8:15 PM and we're reconvened in regular session.
Okay. Do I hear a motion on the issue of personnel issue concerning a Mrs. Cordell?
Do we have a corresponding action item on that? Do we? I don't see it.
I don't, it just said
It just says
discussion.
Okay, that should be it. If we, well,
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Marin, is that enough?
Let me look at it.
It's not.
Right.
Not
Should
enough?
have been discussed and take action.
Ya ves cómo se me salieron las partes ahorita. They must have fallen out of there. No, pero no había ahí nada. En el board, ¿ahí? ¿También se te cayó allá? Pues yo creo que oh. Go check right now. Let me empty it out first, to make sure.
Oh my God. Okay, so what we're going to do instead, because it looks like the action part of it wasn't in the, it should have been discuss and take action. We're gonna just go with what was discussed in closed session for consensus, and I have to come back to you at the end anyway, so we'll do it that way. So there's no need for action today.
Thank you.
So the next board meeting will be the 23rd at 4:30
Facilities and Finance?
for utility and finance, and board meeting will be at 5:30. Motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. We're out of here.